Hello everyone. I'm going to be going through some of the pin catalogs for Destination D23 2025. Yeah, using Disney Pins blogs, my favorite source for Disney pin news. You should follow them on socials. And I'm going to talk about the pins that are hot, the pins that I think you can wait out and get a good deal on, all that stuff. Because I waited a little too long to film this, and now people are getting their RSPs confirmed. So it'll just be very interesting to see how these pins go, and I want to talk about them. So first, we're going through the Disney Studio Store Hollywood pins for D23. They're available via an RSP, so all of these were available, and people were able to go in an RSP, which is like a reservation system, random selection, where they kind of rank what pins they want first, what pins they want last, and that's how you figure out what pins you're able to pick up. And then there'll be other pins that are available throughout the convention, but that's RSP. There we go. Let's see some stuff that's happening at Studio Store Hollywood. So there's a vinyl series, Ellie of 400, Aristocats, and Beauty and the Beast. It's a record player and two individual vinyl record pins, and they feature pin-on-pin characters, and so all the vinyl record pins are interchangeable with the record player that's included in the pack. So that's interesting. One for Aristocats, one for Beauty and the Beast. Then we have a Little Mermaid one. Again, same LE. So if you want the record player, I'm guessing you're going to have to get this first, item number one. If you just want a random record, get that one. But we have one with Flounder. There's one with Aladdin. One with Lion King. One with Jungle Book. We have Goofy Movie. Hercules. Lilo and Stitch. Moana. Cool. Alright, so if I just talk about that vinyl series for a second, I think you can wait these out. My thing is that since pins are so hot right now, these prices are going to skyrocket, but they're going to come back down. You have to trust me on that one. The prices are going to come back down for most of the pins. Not all of them, but most of them. I see these coming down to close to retail. Give it time, and you will. I do appreciate how the record has unique characters for each movies. Like we have Pua for Moana instead of Moana. They had Scrump for Lilo and Stitch, Pegasus for Hercules. I appreciate that. We love to shake it up with new characters. We like the main characters, but shake it up with some new characters every now and then. So these will be fine. I think despite the lower edition size, they will be available if you truly want one. Up next, we have Cuties. This is something that DSSH has been doing for just different movies. It's like the art style. So we have a limited edition of 300, and it's Moana, Cinderella, Raya, Rapunzel with the short hair, and Giselle. These are going to be fine. They're going to sell very well. Heroines always do well. You'll be able to find a couple of these for a lower price, like Raya. I think Punzi's probably going to find its way into collectors, especially since it's the brown hair and not the super long Rapunzel hair. That one might be a little bit tougher to get. And then Giselle, just because we don't do Enchanted a lot. So it's like a fun movie that there's not a lot of merchandise for. So if you're a Giselle collector, maybe get in there early. But yeah, Cuties, they stay pretty solid. They're decent traders. They're heroines. A lot of people collect the heroines. So I think these are going to be good for your collection, or good if you happen to pick some up to trade. There's a cross-country series, Aaliyah 400, and we have one with Dumbo. We have one with Baymax, Judy Hopps, Kronk, Stitch, Lewis, Chippendale, and then we have Mickey and Minnie. I don't see these being the hot ones. I see some of these being available afterwards. Just if you happen to hit up DSSH the last day, there might be a couple of these available. Cute concept. If you're a transportation collector, I can see it happening. Or if you can collect, or if you do collect the individual characters. But I don't see this being the hot DSSH set, but I like them. I don't dislike them. I just don't collect any of the characters. Like maybe I would do the Lewis because like I think that background is very pretty, but I'm also okay not getting it. But I have no issue with it. Zero issue at all. We have the California series, so we have an Ellie of 300 with Marie, Stitch, Pua, Pongo, Ariel, Lady, Baymax, Cheshire Cat, Lucifer, Oliver. That's it. These are interesting. I get why DSSH would have a California series because they're based in California, but these would make more sense to come out at D23 Expo, the bigger one that's out near Disneyland, as opposed to the one in Florida. I also don't know if any of these characters have a connection to California, so this one's interesting. I see these really just going to the specific people that like the characters. If you want to be Pua complete, of course you're going to want this. But if you're like me and you like passively collect Pua, I'd be confused why California is there. It doesn't fully make sense to me, but okay. They're fine. But I don't think, yeah, I'm not sure why they chose the characters and why they're doing California and Florida. So we're doing more beloved tales. This is something else that DSSH does. Beloved tales are where they take these movies that we all love and there's different scenes from the movies, as you'll see as we scroll through. These are a very popular series. They've been out for a while, but they get faked. Beloved tales gets faked very easily. So if you're on the resale market, you're going to see a lot of them. So like these are Ellie of 300. That's roughly what all the beloved tales are. There's you have to be careful when you're sourcing because a lot of them get faked, and I would say if you're getting these within the next few months, it'll take a second for like the counterfeit producers to make these, but just be wary. But we have an Ellie of 300. We have a Goofy movie. I think that's going to be super popular because everyone except for me loves Goofy movie. Strange World, which is very interesting because I feel like that movie came and went without any ads, without any fanfare, without a lot of people talking about it. So it's interesting that they're coming out with a Strange World pin, but they didn't have that push behind Strange World as a movie, you know? Elemental is big. I really liked Elemental. So that's a very cute movie. To me, Wish, yeah. Black Cauldron. Again, I don't know if they're trying to go for unique movies because like they've done a lot of beloved tales for like the big major movies, and so maybe we're going for some of the less popular movies, but I also don't know if Black Cauldron they did specifically to tie into the anniversary and how we're getting like a couple of Black Cauldron pins finally, even though we went like years without any. So I approve of the Black Cauldron. We need to think beyond princesses in Stitch as we're making Disney merchandise. Okay, so that's kind of it for beloved tales. Alright, I think people are going to snatch these up because it's a popular series. And I can see some of them, like Wish, sorry. That one might be easier to get, and like Strange World, you're going to be able to get close to retail. But like Goofy movie, I think is going to be a big one. And Elemental, maybe it's because I enjoyed Elemental, but like I feel like Elemental is a solid movie that we're not talking about enough. Anyways, the Many Sides of Me series, I think this is going to be popular. Like Ariel, she's going to sell. So, yeah. And like she's front and center in a pink dress and not as a mermaid. And she has her blue dress. So I just see Ariel doing very well. Sleeping Beauty will be fine because you have like Briar Rose front and center and then like the pink and the blue dresses. Mulan, I think, will do very well. I think the series is going to do well. Maylin Lee from Turning Red. Another solid movie, Turning Red. Tiana. I don't know. As I like collect Tiana, I would have wanted her blue dress to be front and center and her green dress to kind of be in the back. So I just feel like there's so much green dress Tiana. I don't want any more of it. I would trade for this one though. See how like Cinderella, her pink dress is up front and her blue dress is in the back? Ooh, Madam Mim, interesting. We're doing it with a villain. Lilo. Yzma. Love Yzma. If I collected more collections, I think Yzma would be up there, but I like how they also have Yzma as a cat. And I love how like her front and center is her like Emperor Yzma. Stitch. Cool. Yeah. And then they just have other merchandise. So that's it for DSSH. Many Sides of Me, I think, will be pretty good. One of the more popular series from DSSH if I had to make a prediction. Elia 400, popular characters, unique poses. I'm hoping like the people who design Disney pins are kind of seeing we want more than just the princesses there in their typical dress looking beautiful. It's great, but there's just so much merchandise with that. If we can shake it up with unique characters and movies and poses and princesses not in their beautiful ball gowns, I think that'll help out. So there we go. There's that. Next, if we move to the Walt Disney Company store, this is also an RSP situation. So we have this Destination D23. These are an Elia 400. So we have a Mickey, a 3 Cabs, Stitch, Chip and Dale, and then Goofy and Max. These are fine. I want to see what these look like in person because, like, I don't know if it's like the flyer color or what. I think Goofy and Max are going to be popular, and then maybe the 3 Cabs, Rescue Rangers. But Mickey's on a lot of stuff. And then Stitch, I have no issue with Stitch. But we could make like 10% less Stitch merchandise, and there'd still be too much Stitch merchandise. Like, that's all I'm saying. So we have us celebrating Latin American stories with the 3 Cabs. That's an LA of 300. It's kind of nice. It also, they've been doing quite a few 3 Cab stuff. And I'm not sure if they've always had a lot of 3 Cabs merchandise, or if there's an anniversary, or if they're gearing up to get rid of Grand Fiesta Boat Tour, so they're trying to get us our merch now. More for celebrating Latin American stories. We have a trip through Latin America set. So, 4-pin set. I'm not going to be able to pronounce these, but we have the Arcan Bird and Donald Duck. Pablo the Cold-Blooded Penguin. The Flying Gochito. And Pedro the Mail Plane. This set I love because I love a character you don't see all the time. LA 300, it's 120. Low-key, I would try to like trade for these. I love a character that you don't have on pin super often. Love it. We have a Coco. So we have a Pepita, Dante, Skull, Miguel and Abuela Coco, a guitar, and a Imelda Rivera. I don't think I pronounced a lot of those correctly. Coco was a cute movie. I know there's a good number of Coco collectors. So Ellie of 300, I hope Coco collectors are able to get this. Because I think it's, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to like Coco pins. But I want to say this is like a good variety of like new characters and new styles, maybe. Maybe we have Encanto. So we have a Casita pin set, Ellie of 300, retail for $300 for this pin set. And each pin is a 2x2. Very beautiful. This is probably for the collectors. It's a pretty significant retail cost. And it's the house. It's the Encanto house. It's nice. I would be interested in Encanto collectors. Are we tired of the houses? Are we tired of the doors? But it's also like such like a big part of the movie that you kind of need the house. But then like that 300 retail cost, that's quite a bit. So you might have to like bulk trade for this one if you're not able to get it at cost. More Encanto, we have family tiles, which I feel like they did tiles at the last D23. But we have one for Mirabelle, Luisa, Isabella, Bruno, Antonio, and Dolores. So, there we go. The tiles and Encanto. I feel like this isn't the only pin set that are the tiles for the Encanto characters, but I could be wrong. And then we have some previously released pins. So from last D23, they had this paint jar set, which was 90 different pins released over the 3 days of D23. So like 30 pins a day. And it was like this colors of the rainbow paint jars. So these are the overstock. We have Bagara, Froyo, Silver Mist, Fawn, Timon, Tuk Tuk, King Louie, Raja, Shere Khan, Wreck-It Ralph, Hera, and Taffeta. Okay, Aaliyah 400. They're pretty pins. I have a couple of the paint jar pins, but like 90 was a whole lot to release at once. And so I'm guessing these were some of the less popular characters if they still have stock a year later. I know I have a D23 video from last year that I'll try to link somewhere in the description or up above if I can, but there were just so many paint jars, and zero were Clarabelle Cow. Zero were Hortensia. Like they all these characters. Silver Mist, but not Clarabelle. Wild work. And what I don't want is more paint jars to come out. But these actually might be good because I know there's still a few people trying to collect the paint jars, but there's so many of them. Even more. Isabella, Ratcliffe, Captain Hook, Gaston, Iago, Sebastian, Gogo Tomago, Iridessa, Peppa Madrigal, and Rabbit. So many of these. So many. These are more previous release pins. Of Villains Darkness, we have Corella and Jafar. Not familiar with that series, but I think these will go because people like villains. I don't know if Corella and Jafar are like the top villains that people collect, but people collect villains, so that should be fine. And then we have the fairy tale camos. Anna, Jasmine, Moana, Mulan, Pocahontas, and Snow White. Princesses are always going to do well. And that's it for the Walt Disney Company store. I think it's interesting they have a lot of like previously released pins. Like maybe we released too many paint jars at one time. Very interesting. Very interesting. Like I said, this one right here, the trip through Latin America, is my favorite of these. So I might try to trade for them in the future. And then finally, Mickey's of Glendale. This is the big one. Mickey's of Glendale and Walt Disney Company store are hard because they're only available to cast members, and cast members can't sell pins. They can only trade pins that they get from like Mickey's of Glendale in the company store. But at D23, Glendale's and company store are popular because they're sold directly to the public and you don't have to go through a cast member. So I'm guessing these are going to be the popular pins. Like all three stores are going to have like some sets that are more popular than other, but like Glendale's is going to be more popular than the company store and the studio store. So Mickey's of Glendale, also WDI pins. If you hear people say WDI, Walt Disney Imagineering, Mickey's of Glendale, one and the same. It took me like 3 years to realize they're the same thing. But here's that product catalog. These are the popular ones, the Grand Prix. So these are characters on bikes. I kind of sort of talked about these in my pin preview video from Nifty 50, so I'm not going to go too into depth into them. I like that we have a fun group of characters, like with the exception of Stitch. Unique characters. I appreciate it. Muppets, gonna be the most popular because Muppet Vision is gone. And there has to be something beyond Muppet Vision, because I don't think Muppet Vision closing suddenly made all these Muppet collectors, because there were Muppet collectors pre-closure announcement, but afterwards, are we all just Muppet collectors because the ride closed? Like, that's not making sense to me. But I think the Muppets bus is going to be the most popular of all these. It's Disney characters and they're horses. Again, going to be very popular. People love horses. So if you have Disney plus horses, it'll be great. Yeah, I see like Belle being one that goes a lot. Rapunzel and Max will be a big one. I think it's interesting that they have like the Headless Horseman, very unique. I think the Mr. Toad's gonna go well. I think this is gonna be a solid set. So collectors, sorry, these are probably going to go crazy on the resale market because by the time I'm filming, people already have like their RSPs back. So they kind of know what pins they're getting, what pins they're not getting, and you can already see pre-sales for them. So when I say that these pins are popular, it's also because people are already like pre-selling them at crazy prices. So there's that as well. The chibi heroines, not my favorite art style, but I think they'll be perfectly solid traders or a unique style for your collection if you collect them. I know I was just talking a couple minutes ago about how pin designs can be repetitive and you just have Ariel as a mermaid looking beautiful, love it. But like this is at least trying to be something different. So I have to give them 2 thumbs up for trying to be different, even if it's not my direct style. But I think these are going to be fairly popular. Yeah. These are ones where give it like 6, 7, 8 months and then try to trade and buy. I think people are going to get a bunch of these and kind of hoard them to try to make profit and like make a lot of profit or try to like trade up using these. But I see them coming down. I see in like 6 months resellers trying to clear their inventory and lowering prices or lowering trade value for these. Now take that with a grain of salt, but that's my thought with this series. Disney squad goals are going to be very popular, in particular the Kingdom Heart pin. I said 3 months ago when these were first teased, that was going to be the popular one. Now that people are trying to get their RSPs, that was one of the top ones people wanted. And now that they're reselling these, it's a very expensive pin on the resale market. And it goes to show, again, Disney pin designers, we want unique characters. Okay, I have no issue with the Frozen crew. But Kingdom Heart's going to be the hot one. Give us unique characters. That's what the people want. We're over Stitch. I'm over Lilo and Stitch. I think the Stitch collectors are over Stitch. Cut back on that. Add some more unique characters. Please. And then, yeah. Nothing new I have to say about these. So there you go. If you're interested, hopefully you're able to get these at a solid price. I don't love how for Sleeping Beauty they have one where she's in her pink dress and one where she's in her blue dress. I think we could have put in someone else for that. I don't know. Like, I get it, the pink and the blue. I do. I get it. I'm team pink, by the way. But like, if we could add anyone else, I would have rather seen like a Fab Five. We could have done like a Fab, all of them, where we invited like Clarabelle and Taurus to the party. But no, to Aurora. Okie dokie. The park stamps, crazy. That Sorcerer Mickey's going for over $1,000 off for pre-sale. And I know that there's Sorcerer Mickey collectors, but that's a lot. That's so much for like the whole Phantasmic he's fighting Maleficent. I like it. This was one of my favorite pins when I first pointed out this set a couple months ago. But now that I'm seeing it's going for like over $1,000 for pre-sale, no thank you. They're originally $32.95. Elia $400. It's not a huge pin. I don't see myself buying or trading at that. But I think that one's going to hold value just because Sorcerer Mickey can be a little more expensive. I don't know why, to be honest. But there we go. There's Red, there's Country Bear, there's the Bride, there's the Goat from Big Thunder. I really like this set, but I also really like Disney Parks. The Little Blizzard Beats, Alligator, Cinderella, Jungle Cruise from Tiana's Bayou, Alice. Solid. The Hippo. I really like the Yeti. If I could get one, it would be either Yeti or Sorcerer Mickey. But I'm not in love with this set enough to fight the resellers. A couple of these might come down. Like, I see like Small World Hippo coming down. But yeah, that Sorcerer Mickey. That one I don't think you guys are gonna get at a reasonable price. Sorry, but everything else I can see becoming like $40 to $50 after a few months, except for Sorcerer Mickey. And I hope that by saying that, Sorcerer Mate comes out. I also think Orangeberry and Figment are going to hold, because there's some hardcore Figment people and there's some hardcore Orangebird people, and I think those are going to hold as well. So then we have the Disney destination maps, where you can build the world of Disney Destination the way you wish. Assemble characters, castles, and park icons you want in your collection. So this map is the base, and it includes Sorcerer Mickey. And it's an LE of 450. And you can kind of just put your pins on here. I didn't love the maps that came out last year. This one I'm interested to see kind of like what it's going to look like. So you have different castles and different parks and different characters. Do you have to buy them individually? So it's a mystery box that comes with 2 characters. Mystery boxes are sealed. LE of 500. So there's some good ones. I see people trying to collect this just because people like collecting the mystery boxes, but there's nothing I need. I don't think. I'm kind of going through these slowly just in case I need anything. I don't think I do. But it's a cute idea, so good luck to everyone trying to get those. And then that's it. That's D23. That's coming out soon. My biggest piece of advice is to be patient. And you want these pins because they're the hot new pins, but what you should be doing is looking at D23s of past years and trying to get those at a good buy value, trying to get those at a good trade value. That's my advice. That's all I can say is be patient and you'll get the pins. And if you don't get the pins, that's not the end of the world. And I gave some predictions, but pins have been wild this year, so I'm not sure how all that's gonna go, to be honest. But there we go. Those are some of my initial thoughts. If I pointed out a pin and you think I'm incorrect about my prediction, let me know down below. What are you like most excited for? And good luck to everyone at D23. I'm not a part of D23, so I wasn't even eligible to get tickets. And then when I look at the catalog, there's nothing I need. There's no Clarabelle, no Great Movie Ride. Nothing I absolutely need. Like I said, I like the park stamps. And in like 6 months, in like a year, when everyone's talking about D23, that's when I'll start trading and buying some of the park stamps, except for Sorcerer Mickey. And there we go. Time to end the video. Hope you all had a great time. Again, thank you to Disney Pins Blog. Not that I asked you to use your articles, but yeah, cool. Alright, bye!